Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you all can hear me. Can you guys? Okay, great. Thanks for confirming. So let us start the session, everyone. So if you guys remember, this is our demo session 2. I hope you all can see my screen. So if you guys remember, yesterday I have completed my demo session 1, demo 1, where I have covered what is data engineering. We have seen what is data engineering. And I have also told you about what is Google Cloud Platform and what is GCP, Google Cloud Platform. And we have also seen the course content. The detailed course content I have told you guys, all the things that we are going to cover, each and everything, and how we are going to cover all of those details I have told you yesterday. Similarly, the course details also I have told you, such as when is the course and all of those things. We will also see one more time, but yeah. So this is what we have covered yesterday, guys. So this is a demo 1. Those who have not attended the demo session 1, I suggest you to connect with the management team or admin team. They will help you to give you the recording, and please try to watch that, because we have covered a lot of things there, like the basics, the very basics, the fundamentals that we have covered yesterday. So I suggest you to watch that. So today is going to be our demo session 2, guys. Today is going to be our demo session 2. In this demo session, I am going to talk about GCP interfaces. So GCP interfaces, guys. So let us start with this topic. This is what is the topic that we are going to start with today. GCP interfaces. It is going to take like 30 to 40 minutes. And after that, if anyone have any questions on the course or any details, we will try to see that also. Okay, so first let me gonna start with what is this GCP interfaces. Before me starting with the GCP interfaces, let me gonna give you again the introduction to the Google Cloud Platform one more time. As we now know that sir, Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider. It is one of the leading cloud provider which provides you the wide range of products and solutions to the organizations for building the application, deploying the application, and scale the applications and services in the cloud. Okay, sir, it is going to be one of the leading cloud provider which provides you wide range of products and services which are very useful for the organizations to build the application, deploy the application, and scale the applications and services in the cloud platform. And sir, if you ask me, these services are highly reliable. Sir, these services are highly reliable, secure, and scalable infrastructure, which enables one can able to use the power of Google's extensive network and data centers. Google has the data centers in India also. We have the data centers in the Delhi. We also have the data centers for the Google in the Mumbai. So Google has its own data centers in these two regions. One is Delhi, one more is Mumbai. So Google is providing you these features with are plenty of the services. What are those services, sir? Google is offering you plenty of the services, such as the compute services, identity and network services, management tools, networking services, big data, storage and database, and machine learning. So it is going to be providing you the wide range of services, and these services are flexible, reliable, and fast. Okay, so that is the main services or category of services that the GCP is offering for most of the companies. So nowadays, most of the companies started using the GCP also, guys. Now, sir, if I get a chance to work as a data engineer in the company, sir, if I am getting a chance, sir, I got a job in the company. Sir, I wanted to work with the Google Cloud resources. Sir, there are plenty of services are there in the GCP, sir. I wanted to interact with each and every service in the Google Cloud platform. Sir, how to interact? How to interact with these services, sir? So if one wanted to interact with the GCP services, there are four methods. There are four methods. So what is the first method? The very first method is console. The very first method is console. Second method is Cloud Shell. The third method is Cloud SDK. The fourth method is APIs and third-party tools. So these are the four methods that are there to interact with the GCP. Mostly we as a data engineer, we use console, Cloud Shell and SDK. APIs and third-party tools is mainly to integrate the Google Cloud resources with the third-party tools or other external applications. Mainly you as a data engineer, you are going to use the console, the Cloud Shell, Cloud SDK. According to the requirement in the company, you may be using this APIs and third-party tools also. So these are the four interaction methods are there. Let us try to understand each and everything in very detail. How do we interact with these things, and what are the measures that we have to take if one wanted to interact with these services? Let us try to understand one by one. For doing that, let me gonna go to my paint. So the very first method is this one, sir. The very first method is, tell me guys, what is the very first method? So the very first method is Cloud Console. Sir, what is Cloud Console? Can anyone guess it? What is a Cloud Console? Any answers? You can unmute yourself on so you can speak, guys. Or if you wanted to put a text message also in the chat box, that is also fine. Anyone have any answers for this one? Any guesses? Okay, let me gonna tell you. Sir, Cloud Console is a web-based. That means it is available over the web only. Sir, it is a web-based graphical user interface. Sir, it is a web-based graphical user interface. So that means, so you are going to interact with the GCP services. So if you wanted to interact with the GCP services in a web-based graphical user interface, so if I wanted to interact with the GCP services, they are going to do it via visually. So this is what is a console, guys. Sir, console is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services in a visual manner. Visually, you are going to interact with the GCP services. So that is what is a cloud console, everyone. So cloud console is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services. So that is what it is. So, sir, what we can do? Now that it is a graphical user interface, sir, I can able to interact with the GCP services via visual interface. That is totally fine. Sir, can you tell me what we can do? So you can do most of the things, guys, here. You can do most of the things, such as create slash manage buckets, or create slash manage tables or data sets. So views are many things, or create slash manage clusters if one wanted to create the clusters, or if one wanted to assign the IAM policy. Okay, so these are all the things. Many things are there. I'm not telling you all of those things, but these are the best examples, guys, if I wanted to tell you. So many things are there. So these are the examples. Sir, if one wanted to interact with the GCP services for creating the buckets, so if you wanted to store some data in the Google Cloud Storage, one of the storage service, if you wanted to store it, you must create the bucket. So creating the buckets or managing the buckets, creating a table and data set. creating the cluster and managing the cluster, assigning the IAM policy, all of these things that can able to done using the cloud console, guys. Many things also we can do it. Most of the activities that you can able to do it via console as well. So the most important service is console, guys, because this is one of the common method that most of the people use it to interact with the GCP services. So this is what is cloud console. So let me gonna show you how this cloud console looks like. So this is what is a cloud console, guys. The one which you are seeing is a cloud console. The one which you are seeing is a cloud console. I hope you guys are able to see it, right? So this is a cloud console. In the cloud console, first let me give you a small tour towards this cloud console. Okay, so what are the options on the screen? Let me gonna tell you a small tour on top of this cloud console so that you guys get some idea. So this is how the home page for the cloud console looks like. In this one, you have the left navigation menu. So this is what is a left navigation menu, guys. So if one wanted to select any of the services, or if you wanted to list out all the products and services that are available in the Google Cloud platform, you can go to the left navigation menu. And after that, you have a one more option, that is project area. So this is what we call as a project area. So in that project area, if one wanted to create a project or delete a project or select any of the existing projects, they can go to the project area. And the third option is that the search box. So if one wanted to search about any of the service or any of the product, and if they wanted to work with that particular service, they can select it and search for it, and they can select and go and work with it. So they can able to search for any product here. And here you have a Gemini. So this is search box. Here you have a Gemini, guys. So Gemini is for free for most of the people. You can make use of it. So Gemini, this is Gemini. Okay, so Gemini is very free. It is a chat bot only. So I mean to say a chat GPT similar to the chat GPT. So it is a AI. So if one wanted to ask any of the questions related to the Google Cloud platform or any other question you have it, you can ask the Gemini, which is free for most of the Google Cloud users. And you have a reward status button where one can able to check out how many amount of credits are left in your free trial. So enough, because we are going to create a free trial account which is worth of $300, which is a huge amount of money. So if you wanted to check the status of the free credits, you can always check it out here by clicking on this reward status button. And the one more option, this is a cloud shell. So this is what is a cloud shell. So cloud shell, if one wanted to interact with the cloud shell, they can come to here. And here you have a notifications button, sir. This is a notifications button. So what is this notifications button, sir? If any of the person wanted to do any of the activity, if they start creating something or deleting something, that notification will be shown up here. So you are doing this activity and it is taking this much amount of a time, or it is still in progress. So such kind of details you are going to see it here. This is a notification channel. And rest of the account details you will be having it here, guys. Rest of the account details you will be having. This is your username and all of those details. So this is how a small tool. This is what is your entire console homepage looks like. So this is entire console homepage looks like. Okay. So this is your left navigation menu. This is your project area. This is your search box. This is your Gemini, a reward status button, the cloud shell, the notification channel, and user or project settings. User settings or project settings are here. So this is how. And this entire area is what we call it as a console, which is a visual user interface. Now you can also see here the same thing. Left navigation menu for listing out all the products and services. Project area for creating the project and select the existing project or deleting the project. search box for searching any of the project or services, and Gemini for free. You can able to use this is a one of the cloud assist, and revert status button. So this much amount of money left for me. So this is how you can able to see. And here it is a cloud shell. I will talk about that later. Notifications, it will tell you whatever the activity that you are doing it, and when you have done it, you will be able to see all the notifications here. And these are your project settings and user settings. Okay, so this is all about. I hope you guys got some idea. So now this is what is our console, sir. For example, sir, I wanted to interact with one of the service called cloud storage. So I search for it. I go to the cloud storage. So this is how, which is what we call it as a, what we call it as a graphical user interface. See, it is listing out all the buckets available. It is listing out all the buckets available. So if you wanted to create a bucket also, you can do that. If you wanted to create a bucket also, you can do that. So this is what we call it as a graphical user interface. Okay, sir, let me gonna do one simple thing. Just don't want it to mention it as. We have to create the project later, or maybe yes, keep it here. Later we will create it while we were doing so. But look at here, guys. So this is how a graphical user interface. If one wanted to create a bucket, they can click on create button here. So this is entire thing is a graphical user interface for you, where one can able to interact with the Google Cloud storages or any of the service in the Google Cloud platform. So this is what I'm calling as a console, sir. Okay, so to recap, what is console, sir? Console is a web-based graphical user interface to interact with the GCP services. Okay, yep. Anyone have any questions on the console? We will do a small demo also on the console, Cloud Shell, and Cloud SDK. But if anyone have any questions, you please tell me, guys. Now, anyone have any questions on the console? Okay, sir. If you do not have any question for the console, let me go to the next interaction method. That is nothing but what? Tell me, guys. What is the second way of interacting with the GCP services? Anyone? What is the second method of interacting with the GCP services? Yes, sir, that is Cloud Shell. So you have a second method of interacting with the GCP services, that is nothing but Cloud Shell, sir. So Cloud Shell is a one of the web-based. This is also a web-based. So it is also a web-based command line interface. So this is a command line interface. So what is this one, sir? It is a command line interface. That means if one wanted to interact with the GCP services, so if one wanted to interact with the GCP services, how do they have to do it? Via commands, guys. In the command line interfaces, if one wanted to interact with the GCP services, they have to do it via command line interface, nothing but commands. So they have to use the commands, guys. So this is what is a Cloud Shell. So Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. Cloud Shell is a web-based command line interface. That means if you wanted to interact with any of the service in the Google Cloud platform, if you wanted to interact with any of the service in the Google Cloud platform, you have to use the commands. We have to use what, sir? We have to use the command. So that is what is very much important here. So that means, sir, can I be able to do whatever the things that I am doing with the console? Can I be able to do it with the Cloud Shell? Yes. Sir, you can also achieve the same thing which you are able to do it via graphical user interface that is called as the Cloud Console, can also be done via Cloud Shell also. Can also be done via Cloud Shell also. So Cloud Shell is a one of the command line interface to interact with the GCP services via commands. So that is what. Now, if you wanted to create a bucket or manage the buckets, create the tables or manage the tables, create the clusters or manage the clusters, all of these things you can able to do it via console as well as Cloud Shell also. console as well as Cloud Shell also. Let us do a small demo. Let us do a small demo on how can we create a bucket. How to create a bucket using the console. How to create a bucket using the Cloud Shell. Let us try to do that. So what is the method of creating the bucket? A cloud store, Google Cloud Storage is there, guys. One of the service in the Google Cloud platform, that is Google Cloud Storage. In a cloud storage, how do we create a bucket? Using the console. The same activity, how do we do it via Cloud Shell? Let us try to see. For doing that, sir, I will come to here. So you can see here, guys, I might be already having plenty of the buckets, but don't worry about it. We are going to create one more bucket now. Okay, but don't worry about that. We are going to create one more bucket. Maybe, okay. Okay, let me gonna just click on create bucket. So now look at here, guys. So I come to the cloud storage. How do we come to the cloud storage? You can search for the cloud storage here. So there's a cloud storage. Search for it and select it. So once you are here, you can able to list out all the buckets also. See, once you are landing on the page, sir, I wanted to list out all the buckets. Click on this one so that you are able to list out all the buckets. There are already 6 buckets are there. I am going to create one more bucket. That is for creating it. I'm going to click on create button. Okay, create bucket. So I'm going to say morning batch bucket 1 console. So this is what is the name that I wanted to give. Sir, morning batch bucket 1 console. Okay, so this is the bucket name I'm giving, guys. So I am creating one of the bucket for the morning batch. Okay, so bucket 1 console. So this is what I'm doing. Okay, so or let us go to this one, guys. Maybe AVD group, let us go. In this one, we may not be having any other buckets. So you can see here, guys, we do not have any buckets here, names properly. So let me gonna create in this particular project. So you can create any of the projects. So in this project, I'm creating a click on create bucket and provide the bucket name. So morning batch bucket 1 console, I would just mention bucket 1 console. You can mention the date today, 9/3/2025. So this is what I wanted to. So this is what is my bucket name, sir. I am trying to create a bucket. You see all the options are graphical. So all the graphical options I am using. See, I'm using all the graphical options, guys. So I hope you guys are able to see it. Click on continue. So this is standard. Click on continue. All of these graphical options I'm using and clicking on create button so that the bucket is getting created for me. So this is what is we call it as a graphical way of interacting with the GCS buckets to create the bucket. So this is how you can see it doesn't take much time, hardly 1 second to create the bucket. See here, this is how you have created one of the bucket 1 console. Okay, so this is how what we have done using the graphical user interface. I have created this bucket. Well and good. So that is what, because visually you have interacted with the GCS and you try to create a bucket using the graphical user interface in a visual manner. So that is called as one of the bucket. That is bucket 1 you have created. We have created the bucket 1. Similarly, sir, I would like to create a bucket using the command line interface. That is nothing but your Cloud Shell. That is nothing but your Cloud Shell, sir. How do we create a bucket, sir? If you ask me to create the bucket, we have to activate the Cloud Shell button. We have to activate the Cloud Shell. Tell me, guys, on the screen, where do we have the Cloud Shell? Can you guys tell me? I have just told you. Where do we have the Cloud Shell button? Anyone? Where do we have the Cloud Shell button or option? Yes. So if you can see here, guys, here we have the Cloud Shell button. So if one wanted to work with the command line interface, they have to click on this activate Cloud Shell button. You have it here. See this one. So just click on this one. If you can see at the bottom, the Cloud Shell is getting activated for you. The Cloud Shell machine is getting activated for you. Click on authorize also. So a Cloud Shell machine is getting activated for you, which is a command line interface to interact with the GCP services. Okay, so this is what it is. So this is how we have activated the Cloud Shell, guys. We have activated the Cloud Shell. Sorry, here I have four buckets here. See, total I have four buckets. Four buckets selected. So what I am going to do, I wanted to list out all the buckets which I am able to list out in the console. So I would like to list out all of those buckets in the Cloud Shell also. If I wanted to list out all the buckets in the Cloud Shell, the command is gsutil ls. The command is gsutil ls and click on enter. Okay, now you are able to see it here. So all the four buckets are listed down here. All the four buckets are listed down, which you are able to see. All the four buckets here also, this is also you are able to see. So this is how, if one wanted to list out all the buckets, they can use a command called gsutil ls. Don't worry about the commands. We are going to have a separate session in the upcoming sessions where we are going to learn about each and every command in very detail. Don't worry about it now, but just try to understand. You can able to interact with the GCP services from the Cloud Shell also. Now, sir, I would like to create a one more bucket itself. Sir, I wanted to create a one more bucket itself. That is gsutil mb. Mb nothing but a make bucket. Gsutil is a one of the command line library to interact with the GCS using the Cloud Shell. Using the command line, gsutil is the command line library. It's a package. MB is to make bucket. The bucket name I am going to give as sir bucket hyphen 2, and I would say shell, and I will mention the time 9/3/2025. The bucket name has to be unique, so that's the reason we are providing the unique name. So gsutil mb, the bucket name if you give, and the make bucket mb nothing but a make bucket. Gsutil is a library, mb is to make bucket, the bucket name you have to provide. So this is a prefix for Google Cloud Storage. You have to use the prefix. So now if I click on enter button, there gets a one more bucket created, if you can see. So bucket is created successfully. If you refresh the button here, so if you can refresh the button here, there you will be able to see one more bucket. See, bucket 2 also we have created. Bucket 2 shell 9/3/2025. This is how, if one wanted to create a bucket using the Cloud Shell also, they can do that, guys. They can also do it using the command line library or command line tool, that is nothing but Cloud Shell. So that means one can able to interact with the GCP services from the console, from the Cloud Shell. So this is what it is. Anyone have any questions on the Cloud Console and Cloud Shell before we talk about the Cloud SDK? Anyone have any questions? Tell me, guys. Anyone have any questions? Okay. Sir, if you do not have any questions, let us start with one more thing that is called as Cloud SDK. So this is what is Cloud Console. This is what is Cloud SD, Cloud Shell that we have seen. The third way of interacting with the GCP services is the Cloud SDK. Cloud SDK, sir. What is this one? Cloud SDK. Sir, what is Cloud SDK? SDK is nothing but a software development kit. So it is a software development kit. Sir, if one wanted to interact with the GCP services from the local machine, sir, if one wanted to interact with the GCP services from the local machine, they can able to do it because Cloud SDK is a local based. Sir, Cloud SDK is a local based according to your system's operating system. You have to download it. You have to download it and install it. You have to download it and install it. So this is what it is, guys. So it is a local based. The very first thing I would like to talk is that it's a local based. That means according to your operating system, your machine operating system, you have to download the SDK and install the SDK, and then you can able to interact with the GCP services, guys. And then you can able to interact with the GCP services, and this is also a command line interface only. So this is also a command line interface only. The only difference is that it is a local based. This is what it is. Local based. That means if one wanted to interact with the GCP services from the local machine, sir, I wanted to interact with the GCP services from the local machine. In that case, you can go for the Cloud SDK, because Cloud SDK is locally available. If it has to be available according to your machine operating system, you have to download it and you have to install it, and then you have to log in it also. Download, install, login. So these are the three things we have to do. So to do that, let me gonna show you the process. I'm gonna tell you the process so that you will understand how to download it and install it. I have properly noted in the notes also, guys, for how do we interact with maybe so installing the SDK. So there is a one of the topic called install SDK. To if one wanted to install the SDK properly, I have documented the things. But if you wanted to do it, so you copy this link. You can copy this link. Okay, you can go to the web browser. Sir, I'm going to the web browser. I paste it here. Click on enter. So paste the web link which I have mentioned in the notes, and now you see if one wanted to install the Google Cloud CLI or SDK, whatever it is, Google Cloud CLI, if you wanted to download and install it, you have to come to here. So if you look at it here clearly, so if your operating system is a Linux or Debian or Ubuntu, Red Hat, Fedora, CentOS, Mac OS, Windows, Chromebook, whatever the operating system you have to select your operating system of your local machine, and then for downloading it, you can able to click on this Google Cloud CLI installer. Okay, just click on it. If you can see there, it gets a downloaded. So you can click on this one so that you will be able to see there is a downloads. So this is what it is. It is hardly 261 KB. So that's the reason downloaded very fast. Hardly 261 KB. So that's the reason you see it is downloaded very fast, guys. So this is what is we call it as a CLI downloading according to the operating system. Once it is downloaded, you can click on this button and it will open it here like this. Once it is downloaded, right click on it or open it, or maybe double click on it. Double click on it, guys. Okay, so double click on it. This is what happens. So the moment you double click on it, this is what happens. So it will open the welcome to the Google Cloud CLI setup. It is asking for you to set up. Don't do anything. Just click on next. Just click on agree. Just click on next. Just click on next. Just click on install. That's it. Whatever the options, next to next, next to click on install. That's it, guys. Automatically it will take like 3 to 4 minutes for the installation. Once after that, you can have the Google Cloud SDK on top of your local machine, where you can able to interact with the GCP services from commands. So that is what is a Google Cloud CLI or SDK available for you guys, which is locally. So the moment you click on install button, it will take like 3 to 4 minutes, and after that it is installed. So if I have to check it out, I'll show you guys. This is how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. Maybe if you go to your Windows Start button, right? Windows Start button and search for SDK. Search for SDK. So you see here, guys, there is a Google Cloud SDK which I have already installed in my system previously. So that's the reason you are able to see it here. Okay, so let me gonna click on this one, Google Cloud SDK. So click on this one. So this is what it is. So this is what it is. The moment you come here, what we have to do is that we have to log into the Google Cloud platform. So this is what is my Google Cloud account. So this is what is my Google Cloud account, which I wanted to do the login. So to do the login, sir, what I am going to do, you have to use G Cloud. There is a command for that one, guys. So gcloud auth login. So this is what is a simple command. If one wanted to log into the Google Cloud platform, the command is gcloud auth login. So click on enter button. Click on enter button. It will go to the browser and it will ask for you to select your account. So this is what is my account. Click on select and then click on continue and then click on allow. So that's it. You are now authenticated with the Google Cloud CLI. So this is where you can see you are now authenticated with the Google Cloud CLI. So if one wanted to see here, they can also see your browser is open to visit and you are now logged in this as particular user. Okay, your current project is selected to this particular project. If you wanted to change the project also, you can use this one. A command to select the one more project. Sorry, we are in different project. So to change the project, we can also use this command. This is what is your project ID for this one. So let me gonna show you one thing, guys. If you guys remember, let me clear the screen. CLS is to clear the screen. CLS. Now, sir, if you guys remember, I wanted to list out the buckets. Tell me, guys, how many buckets that we have in this project? How many buckets we have, sir? Total 5 projects buckets are there. You see. So 2 of the buckets we have used. We have created. One is using the console. One more is using the Cloud Shell. 2 buckets that we have created already. So one is using the console, one more is using the Cloud Shell. Total 5 buckets are there. So if I wanted to list out all the buckets here, the command is, we already know, gsutil ls. gsutil ls. Click on enter button. You will be able to see all the buckets here. Total 5 buckets you are supposed to see. See here, all the 5 buckets are here. So one is console we created, one more is using the Cloud Shell. Sir, can I be able to create the bucket from here also? Sir, can I be able to create the bucket from here also? Yes, why not? You can also create a bucket from here also. That is gsutil mb. The bucket name is gs:// the bucket 3. I'm going to mention the bucket 3. The commands are same. Don't worry about it. The commands are same. Cloud SDK that 9/3/2025 I'm going to mention. So this is how. If one wanted to create a bucket, the commands are same. Whether it is Cloud Shell or Cloud SDK, the commands are same, guys. Don't worry, because both of these things are Linux-based commands only. So now look at here. gsutil mb gs:// the bucket name is bucket 3 SDK I have given. So the moment I hit this button, so there gets a bucket created. So I would like to see all the buckets. So click on here. You should be able to see all the buckets also here. See, total 3 buckets plus 3 buckets. We created a one more bucket. You look at here, guys. So that is nothing but, earlier it was not there. Now we have created that. That is bucket 3 SDK. So even though you can also go here and refresh this one, you should be able to see this one also. Earlier we have total 5, now it is 6. And one of the bucket that we have created, bucket 3 SDK 9322025. Just wanted to give a small demo, guys. We are going to interact with all of these different methods with different services while we are learning each and every topic in very detail. Okay, at this point of time, just wanted to let you know there is a way to interact with the GCP services from the console, which is a graphical user interface. There is a way to interact with the GCP services via command line interface. There's a way to interact with the GCP services via command line interface called SDK. So all of these methods I have told you now. Tell me, guys, anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions, please? So these are the 3 interface methods, guys. One is console. Sir, one is console. So the second one is the Cloud Shell. So this is what is a Cloud Shell. The third method is Cloud SDK. So the third method is Cloud SDK. So these are the three interface methods are there to interact with the GCP services, everyone. To interact with the GCP services, we have three interface methods are there. Tell me guys, anyone have any question, please? Anyone have any question, please? Please tell me. So these are the three interface methods are there to interact with the GCP services, everyone. Any questions? The very first one is console. Console, which is a graphical user interface. Every day we are going to talk about these things, so that's the reason I just wanted to give you a very good idea on all of these things, because these are very fundamentals. If you do not know, it will be a problem, because you are going to interact with these services, and if you do not know what are these, then it is a problem. So that's the reason one is cloud console, the second one is cloud shell, the third one is cloud SDK. I hope this is clear. Anyone have any question, please? Perfect. If no one is having any questions, what I am going to do, I would love to go to the fourth method of interacting with the GCP services. That is the final method, which will take 1 or 2 minutes only. We are not going to use it, is totally depends on the project requirement. So assume that this is not you as a user doing it. So what is happening here is that assume that this is a Google Cloud platform. Google Cloud platform. In a Google Cloud platform, you have a plenty of the products and services are there. In Google Cloud platform, plenty of the products and services such as the GCS, BigQuery, Dataproc, Dataflow. So plenty of these services are available, right? So you can integrate these services with the outside or external applications, or you can also integrate these services with the outside applications or external applications are third party tools. We call it as external tools or applications. So for example, um, Informatica, you can able to interact with Informatica or DBT, or you can also interact with the Power BI. You can also interact with the some application, some Python application, or some application, I would say in generic. I will make it as a generic. Some application you wanted to interact with, some machine you wanted to interact with. So these are the different uh, you know things are there. So these are the external systems. I would call it as a external. These are all external systems. External systems. So when you wanted to interact with these external systems or applications, so that is where we are going to use the APIs and third party tool method. So mostly these services are interacted via. So for example, so if you are doing it here or here or anything, there are two things required. One is access. Okay, one is access, one more is method of interaction method. So mostly it is APIs are CLIs. So we can call it as APIs or CLIs. So this is how access, mostly we are going to use a service accounts to this one. So this is how, if one wanted to interact with any of these third party tools or external tools. So far we talked about, sir, internally if I wanted to interact with the GCP, I can able to use these things, CLI, SDK, Cloud Console. But sir, I wanted to integrate these things with the external systems. I wanted to integrate the GCS with other systems, guys. If you wanted to do it, so these are the important things that are required. One is access. That is mostly done via service accounts. What is a service account, that we will see in our upcoming sessions in very detail. We are talking about that in the IAM. In the IAM, we will talk about the service accounts. Similarly, if you wanted to interact with these services, you need to have a proper method, that is via API call or via CLI method. So this is what we call it as two methods to interact. APIs are third. Whenever you wanted to interact with these third-party tools or any of these external systems, mostly we are using the method as API only. Okay, API is only. API is nothing but application programming interfaces. Every service in the Google Cloud platform has its own client via API. So one can able to interact, one application can able to interact with these services via APIs. Okay, so this is what is your fourth method of interacting with services, that is mostly via APIs only. Okay, yep. Any questions, guys, here also? This is what is the fourth method. It totally depends on the company's requirement. If your company using the Informatica or Power BI or some other application, right, that time it will come into the picture. Okay, yeah. Tell me, guys, any questions, anyone? Anyone have any questions on these four interaction methods? So that is what we have seen, guys. So far, we have seen how do we interact with the GCP services, right? So one is via console, one more is via Cloud Shell, and the Cloud SDK, APIs and client library. I would say APIs and not third-party tools. This is for sure third-party only. We use it as a client libraries. So that is the main important method, client libraries. Yeah. So this is what it is. So this is what is, yeah. So now one is console, Cloud Shell, Cloud SDK, and the APIs are client library. So this is what it is. Okay, yeah. I hope this is clear. And a simple note I have it. A simple note I have it, guys. That is, these are some of the common ways to interact with GCP services. The choice of method depends on your preference, requirements, and the type of interaction you wanted to have with GCP resources. Someone may ask me, sir, which is commonly used? I'm going to tell you it is totally depends on your project requirement or your preference. Okay, your project says in your project, if they say console, you have to use the console. But during your sessions, you will get to know some of the services are very good to use at console. Some of the services are very good at Cloud Shell. So you will understand that, sir, which method is very good at what level, that you are going to understand in the upcoming sessions. Okay. Yeah. So this is what is about four interface methods, guys. Tell me, anyone have any question, please? If anyone have any question, you can also ask me, guys. So we have completed this one. So just wanted to tell you. So this is something that we started doing it today. That is GCP interfaces. So very important topic, guys. Just wanted to let you know that we are planning to learn about the GCP interfaces. Now tell me, guys, how many ways that we can able to interact with the GCP services, guys? GCP interfaces. So now we have console, the Cloud Shell, the Cloud SDK. So these are the interaction methods. So in the next session, that is in the regular sessions, from tomorrow onwards, the regular sessions are going to be starting. So the regular sessions, so the session 3, I will call it as a session 3 instead of demo. I'm going to call it as a session 3. In this one, we are going to talk about GCP console walkthrough. I would call it as a console walkthrough, where I am going to talk about very, very important topic, where we are going to create a free trial account in the GCP. I'll tell you free trial account, trial account. How do we set up the free trial account in the GCP? What is a project? We'll understand what is a project and project setup we do. What is the billing? How do we manage the billing management? And then APIs enable API or API management. So these are the things that we are going to see, guys. This is going to be our session tomorrow. So tomorrow's session, we are going to talk about console walkthrough. In this one, I'm going to tell you free trial account, project setup, billing management. Free trial account, I'm going to tell you guys how to set up the free trial account tomorrow. Please be available tomorrow because I'm going to tell you the free trial account setup, which is very, very important, guys. Okay, which is very, very important. And billing management, API management, and all of those things. So this is what is something. Okay, yeah. So what you guys have to do, those who are interested in joining the course, please enroll for the course. You have to complete the enrollment today, guys. Enrollment to be completed today. Okay, those who wanted to enroll for the course, please complete the enrollment today. So this is something that you have to do it today. So once you complete the enrollment, use connect with an admin, get the Zoom details, Zoom connection. Every day you have to attend the Zoom. So that's the reason Zoom link. Get the access to the recordings and get the access to my notes. Okay. So our material notes. So this is what it is. So try to get the access to do these three things, guys. Okay. Yep. So these are the three things. While you are doing the enrollment, you have to get it clarified. Please complete the enrollment today so that you can able to have the sessions regularly from tomorrow. So this is what enrollment to be completed for all of you guys. If you guys wanted to enroll for the session or continue for the regular sessions, please complete the enrollment and admin will help you how to complete the enrollment. And after that, you will be able to get the three things such as Zoom links, recordings, and notes every day for you to join the sessions. Okay. There will be a group also will be created later so that you will be able to see that. Yeah. Tell me, guys, anyone have any questions, please? Tell me, guys, anyone have any questions? If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wind up the session, guys. If you guys have any question related to any of the course contents, sir, what are the course content that we are covering? So I'm going to put it here. If anyone have any questions on the course, also you can able to ask me, guys. This is what is our course content, guys. Okay, yeah. Except these timings. Anyone have any questions? The timings are 7:30 to 8:30. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. IST. So this is the timings, guys. Every day the same timing. We are going to connect at the same timing, and we are going to, see most of the things here. Yes. Anyone have any question? I'll be here for next 2 to 3 minutes. If anyone have any questions, also you can ask me. Tell me, guys. Anyone have any questions, please? Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. When it comes to the technical things, there isn't any difference. When it comes to the technical things, right? So if I just wanted to look at what is the technical things, what it is offering, GCP, what is AWS, what is Azure. So when it comes to the technical point of view, you don't see the much difference. You see them as a different three chocolates. Okay, if you go to the supermarket and if you are buying it three chocolates, right? So those are like three chocolates. You don't see the much difference. Mostly it looks the same. Mostly the taste will be the same. It will be sweet only, and mostly it will be in the same shape also. Okay, and the brand is different, I would say. The brand is different. But what happens, so when you go for AWS and Azure, I'm going to tell you this simple thing, guys. What is the thing that you are getting? So for example, sir, what happens to my students, let me going to tell you. So some people will think about, sir, AWS and Azure is having a very good market. AWS and Azure having a very good market. What they try to do is that they try to attend these courses. Well and good, no issues actually. So people think that, sir, I am coming from a non-IT, or I am coming from some testing background or a supporting background. So what usually happens is that these guys, right, without any proper check in the market, they only understand the market, and in the market Azure is there, AWS is there, and they try to attend this AWS and Azure data engineering course they will attend. So no issues actually, you can attend the data engineering course. Okay, but the what is the thing is that the market for the AWS and Azure is saturated actually. So if you look at the market, right, it is already saturated. That means a plenty of AWS and Azure data engineers are already there. A plenty of Azure and AWS data engineers are already there in the market. Even though if you are learning something and if you go and attend an interview, for one role there are plenty of already experienced professionals are already there. Competing with them and getting the job by competing with them is very very difficult, because when the market is saturated, it becomes very difficult for you to get the job, because you have to compete with these people. These people have learned already this course 5 years before, 6 years before, like you. However, you are trying to learn now, they might have already done it 5 years, 6 years before at that point of time. So they have done it. Okay, and they're now working in some of the companies with a very decent 3 to 4 to 5 years of experience. Now if you go for one of the job, right, if you go for one of the job or one of the interview, you will be able to see these people who is having 3 to 4 years of experience. Competing with them and getting the job is very very difficult, I'm telling you, because the market is mostly saturated. Very difficult to get the job by competing with these. But if you wanted to upskill, you can do that. That's not a problem. But the same thing, if you do the thing, because GCP is new and GCP is evolving. The market is evolving every day and day by day. Day by day, the market is getting increased. So this is what is GCP. Okay, anyway. So this is what is GCP. Sir, GCP, the same candidate, if one more candidate is learning GCP, getting the job with the GCP compared to the AWS and Azure is very easy for him. Very, very easy, because the market for the GCP is fresh. The market is very fresh because it is in the new. However, 5 to 6 years before, AWS and Azure's market was very fresh. The same thing, the market for the GCP is very fresh, and it is recently started in the India. There are plenty of the companies, or most of the companies started using the GCP compared to the AWS and Azure for data engineering projects. I would say specifically for data projects, GCP is very famous because it is offering you plenty of the services. Okay, so that's the reason getting the job becomes very easy, because the market is very new. The market is very new. And one more thing, when it comes to the data engineering projects, sir, which is good, if you ask me, for data engineering projects, if you go and check out outside also, data engineering projects, GCP is very famous because GCP is offering you plenty of the services for the data engineering.
And one more advantage with the GCP, why when you have a AWS and Azure, why people are going for the GCP? If you ask me, the services are cost effective comparatively. The services are cost effective. Okay, that is one more reason. And one more reason for data projects, I would say for data projects, plenty of offerings. So plenty of DE services it is offering, data engineering, plenty of tools it is offering. Okay, so that is the main reason most of the data companies or most of the data projects are using the GCP over the AWS and Azure. Even if you ask me, some of the projects where I have worked, we have migrated the workload from the AWS to the GCP also. We migrated the workloads from the AWS to the GCP also. It is because the cost effective nature and plenty of the GCP data engineering offerings. So this is main. So two things at a company's perspective, this is what the companies are doing. This is what is the company's perspective. Okay, if you ask me what is the company's perspective, sir, this is what is company's perspective. Okay, sir, for you, what is the take for you? If you ask me what is the take for you, the take is that very simple to understand. Most of the people don't understand it. They only understand there's a huge market. Yes, there's a huge market is very high, sir. I would even agree with you. Very huge market for the AWS and comparatively double the market, I would say. The market is good. And similarly, the plenty of opportunities are also there. But compared to the market as well as plenty of opportunities, for a one job, you will be having a huge competition because the market is stable from the last 7-8 years. And people were actually already got the job and they're already working. But the market is less market for the GCP. Okay, it was less market for the GCP, and but it is still growing like anything. I am saying that it is growing like anything. By the time like next 2 years, 3 years, if you think that it is also getting saturated, getting the job after 3 years, 4 years for the GCP also very difficult. So what you have to do at this point of time, get the job and settle. Get the job and settle. So if you are settled, then I'm telling you guys, for next 15 years, no one has to touch you. If you are learning the data engineering, no one has to touch you, because next 15 years there is a stable market for the GCP data engineers. And whether it is GCP or AWS or Azure, there is a stable market for next 15 years. But getting the job with the AWS and Azure is very difficult, but GCP is very easy to do that. Okay, yeah. Tell me guys, anyone have any questions now? Yes, yes. Correct. That's what. See, most of my students are non-IT students only, guys. I'm telling you, na. Most of my students are non-IT students only. I'm telling you, they are able to crack the jobs. There are some people are coming from the mechanical background. Most of them are mechanical, or I have seen that someone call center also, and call center. And from the IT, I have seen some of the people are admins. Earlier, they are admins or supporters, support engineers, or they are admins or supporting our testing background. So these are the most of my candidates or students are coming from these areas only. So if you are a non-IT, sir, if you are a working in some package where that is not enough for you, you are not able to survive, or you are not able to lead your life easily. And sir, I wanted to enter into the trending job. Sir, I'm telling you, data engineering is one of the trending job. Sir, if you wanted to enter into the trending job, so if you are planning to do that, this is what is the role for you guys. I'm telling you, this is what is a one of the course for you, where I am going to cover from the basic to the advanced. I start at a very basics. So you might have seen the way that I am teaching, right? So that is where I am going to teach, because everyone has to understand. So basic, I'll talk about the moment when we are after completing one month, right? So you will be entering into the intermediate mode. And by the end of the sessions, we are covering the advanced concepts like automation also. So we will be covering each and every aspect like this one, guys. Okay, so this is what is a simple way of my teaching. That is, so I'll be starting with a very good basic, so that the fundamentals for you is very strong. Once the basics are completed, we will be starting the advanced intermediate topics. Once the intermediate is also good,
then we will be talking about advanced topics as well, which is very useful for you to tag the interviews and all of those things. So this is how the real time things. So this is what is my way of teaching: basics, intermediate, and advanced. Okay, all the lab sessions we are going to see, end to end pipelines we are going to cover. Yes. Anyone have any question, please? So anyone can able to understand. That's how I make it. I can you can trust me on that, guys, because I have taught for almost 67 to 68 batches. I think it is 69 or 68. I don't remember it. This is my 68th batch on the GCP. Okay, yeah, from the last 1.5 year I'm been teaching this one. So I even teach for the corporates also, for like Cognizant. Recently I have done a corporate training for the Cognizant, Datamatica, and different LNT. So for different companies I do the corporate trainings as well. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys, any other questions, anyone? Don't worry about that packages and all of those things, because you are. Mhm. Tackle the job. We are going to see. Don't worry about those things. See, try to understand the moment you have a basics and the how you are going to understand each and every topic. Once you have the knowledge, I'm telling you, there is a plenty of offerings, plenty of opportunities for the GCP data engineer. The moment you put your resume, there is a calls you are going to get. You are going to get a huge number of calls. So if you have a knowledge, I'm telling you, you will be able to crack it. Don't worry about those things. Okay, focus on the knowledge. Rest of the things will directly come to you. Yes, because there's a good amount of opportunities for the GCP data engineers. You will get a plenty of the calls. For sure, you will get 20 plus calls in a month. 20 plus calls in a month. If you are able to crack one job itself, that is one call itself, that means you are landing on a job. Out of 20, if you're not able to crack one also, that means that is a problem from your end. Okay, this course gives you 20 plus calls, 20 to 25 calls. Out of that, if you are able to crack one thing also, you'll be able to get it. Okay, yeah. I'll tell you by the end of the sessions, during the sessions also, where you have to apply, how you have to apply. If you are applying this way, how do you get calls and all of those things, I'll tell you in our upcoming sessions. Yes, sure, sure. Okay, focus on the knowledge. I would say that put effort, guys. Put effort. If you are putting effort for next 3 months, for sure there is a result. For sure, because this is proven. I have seen my students who is cracking 6 offer letters also. One guy cracked 6 offer letters with the same course that you are going to attend. That guy actually cracked 6 offer letters. 6 offer letter. But recently, one of the guy cracked 3 offer letters. I don't know whether I can show you or not. But recently, one of the guy actually, his name is also, I forgot his name. His name. 1 minute. His name is some Gopi, or I don't remember it exactly. Rajiv, no. Seshadri, no. No. Actually, he is one of the candidate. He actually attended the course, and he is able to crack like recently 3 offer letters he cracked. One of the guy cracked 6 offer letters. Ganesh, his name is Ganesh. So see here, this guy actually cracked 3 offer letters, and he told me, sir. See, four actually, I forgot three. I told you, right, sir? Sorry, I have cracked multiple offer letters. 5 to 11, 5 to 9. His current package was 5, and he directly went to the 12.5. 4 offer letters he cracked. So I asked him, so this is what it is. So this is what is something. He was in contact with me like long, and he attended the same course, I think. So that's how you can able to see many things. Many people are actually cracking the interviews. Okay, so I suggest you to connect with the admin and get it enroll for the course. And if you guys wanted to enter into the data engineering, this is a good ladder for you guys. And if you have any other questions personally also, if you wanted to speak with me, you can always ping me on the phone. Okay, you can always connect with an admin, they will call me so that we can have a conference call. Okay, so that is also possible. Okay guys, anyone have any questions please before we wind up the session? Anyone have any questions? Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Have a great day. I hope to see you in the next session. Try to complete your enrollment. So get the all the details that I have mentioned here, like Zoom sessions, recordings, and notes, everything. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Thanks, everyone.